Hey, it's Amanda. Welcome. It says we're live. I'm not quite sure if we are. I don't know. Sorry, guys. First time. Let me just start in case we are live. My name's Amanda. This is Pear Blossom Press. Welcome aboard. Tonight we are going to be talking about the Lightbox kit from Ink Road Stamps. It's a collaboration. I know Laura's already here. Hi, Laura. Let me show you what she's got. Are we on overhead, Ann? Micah's here too. He's going to be reading comments and doing all the technical behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so this is the Lightbox kit. There's a stamp set that's full of alphabets. And look, you've got like a bunch of A's, like lots of different ones here, so you can spell out what you need. And then this is the Lightbox itself. And then there are 3 sentiments already. And then a couple of these fun little guys here too, so that you can decorate and also mark your little push button. And then there's also this really cool die set. This one's already open here. Let me show you. It's got 3 pieces. So you're going to cut 2 of these to make a box. So I've got the back and the front. Now you can cut the window out of the front from this, like that. And then there's also this little guy. And you're probably wondering what this little guy is for. Let me show you. Once you've assembled a Lightbox, and we'll go through that together, I usually tape the little pieces, the wires down here, and then you're going to put this down on your card. Now this is about a quarter of an inch, and it's already going to be thick, so if you had extra thickness behind it would be too much. So I went ahead and I cut 2 pieces here, and that gives you a spot wide enough for the little battery pack to slide through. And then you would adhere this down, and actually I've got them upside down, sorry. Hi, Jessica. All right, so it would come together something like this, and then you cover this up. So that's the point of the little guy. Now let's actually show you how the box comes together. Like I said, you cut out 1 piece. That's solid. It's going to be the back. And I would recommend white for this because you want the light to reflect back. So a light colored background is good so that you have lots of surface for it to reflect back. The top layer is going to be what you want the edge to show as. So this one, I cut a white piece and then a pink glitter one. And you just cut out the frame, and then you lay that other piece in and cut that out as well. Oh, by the way, those little pieces that come out, these are perfect ATC size. ATC, the artist trading cards. So 2.5 by 3.5. So perfect for that, especially if you're trying to cut, if you've done like some cool alcohol ink background, or you want to just get one part of this pattern paper, you can use that die and it will give you exactly the piece that you want. Hi, Tracy. So now let's talk about folding up these edges because they're kind of a pain. What I would do, because it's such a narrow area, is grab a ruler and your bone folder, and when you cut it, it scores a little line for you, and also on your front piece too. Just do the same thing. And all I'm going to do is take this ruler and line it up at those notches, and then kind of get it started. And I'm pressing down on the ruler, and I can just fold it up this way. Anytime you're going to fold on a narrow little lip, then you can use this trick, and that way you won't get a weird fold. You're going to get a nice straight one, and everything's going to fold up the way you want it to. Do it for all 4 sides. Now, have you guys seen this? I already dropped the link in the description box. If you haven't seen this yet, you're definitely going to want to check it out. The kit comes with both stamp sets. It comes with the die set, and then it comes with 1 easy light And if you've been to my channel before, you are familiar with easy lights. And if not, that's okay, because I'll show you. Okay, so I've got all 4 sides scored, folded. And then these little guys are just gonna pinch them over. Okay. So now before we glue this together, let me show you the easy lights. In your kit, you will have one. It's going to have a little clear plastic piece in there. You're just going to pull it out. It's protecting the battery so it doesn't drain in shipping. The little purple button here is the switch. And we have 3 lights on separate wires. So you just kind of separate them, tape them down where you want them to go. I use plain old Scotch tape for this. You can use washi tape, whatever you'd like. And then for the back, the battery area is a little heavy, so I wouldn't use Scotch tape for that. You can use wet glue. I like super tape. I just take a little piece and this is my preferred method. It's fast and easy. Okay. So let's tape this down. Now you have a couple different options. If you're going to cover the front of your box with vellum, then you may want to hide these a little bit more. You can tuck them into the corners, so like the 2 sides and then at the bottom or the top. Either way, it's up to you. If it's something that's a little more solid, for example, you can cut copy paper. You can use the vellum or copy paper, regular weight copy paper. The light will come through just fine. And then you won't see the wires where you might with vellum. You might see the red and the blue there. That's up to you. This one I think I'm going to do copy paper. So I'm going to go ahead. That's a little longer than I need. And I'm just holding it down. Notice that little yellow dot, that's the LED. And you want it to point up. If you're going to assemble it on the side of your box, then I would center it, and I want that yellow dot facing the side of the box. So if I tape it, when I fold it in, it's now pointing in. You just want to be aware of where you want the light to go. So from the sides, I would point it out that way rather than straight up. For this, I'm going to try to kind of line them up evenly, because I'm going to cover this with the copy paper, so you're not going to see those little lines. And again, I'm making sure to get this one with the little yellow dot pointing up. And then when I press the button, I've got 3 lights going up. Okay. And I can kind of pull them around a little bit. If you don't like where they are, just move them around. It's Scotch tape. So easy peasy, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take them and kind of move them around here, just folding them up. Everybody with me so far? Mike is in charge of reading comments.
Everybody's on your event. So I'm telling them to come over to this. Restream made a whole new thing. There was no way for us.
Oh! Okay. Well, let me know when you guys are here.
It's not a whole lot of people. Tanya, Lahus, Vicky DeGrado.
Tana and they're in the other one?
Ink Road is on the other one.
Okay, so everybody's wondering where we are. Sorry, guys. This is the first time going live. My apologies. Still learning. Let me know when you guys are here. And are there people in this one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Everybody who's here, are you guys with me?
Yeah, they are. And I think there's some people watching on Facebook too.
Okay, great.
I'm trying to get your links over so that they can see where to get I've got the easy light in and I'm copying the ink road.
Oh, okay. So if it's not there yet, it will be soon. All right. So let's go ahead and assemble a top. I've got this one already cut out. So you can see the hole in the center there, and that's where I'm going to use a backer here. And this time I'm going to use copy paper rather than vellum, which I have. This one's vellum, so you can see that. And I'm sorry, we have 3 bright studio lights in here, plus overhead lights. But I think you guys can see that, right? If I turn it a little bit. There you go. Okay, so that one's vellum. This one is going to be plain copy paper. Let me grab my Misty. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the Your Smile Lights Up Every Room in the frame here. So, and I set them up already in my Misty, but I have a pad here. And I did not mention, to cut the inside piece to fit inside the frame, I actually just cut that with my trimmer. It's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 of an inch. So it's a little bit bigger than the piece that gets die cut. You see that? It's a little different there. You want it to have a little border. This little border here is going to give you an area to glue into the lip on the inside there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and line it up, and I'm stamping it. Now with vellum, choose your ink carefully. You might want to test it out first. Some inks don't want to dry, like the VersaFine Clair. If you don't dry it, or I'm sorry, emboss it, it's going to smudge. And this was like a couple weeks ago. It's still wet. You see that? So choose your ink carefully. Some inks, like the, this is the Distress Oxides, they're not that opaque, so I came back in with a white pen and went behind it. So that one's not my favorite. But what I do really like, this one worked great. I used the VersaFine Clair and then just clear embossing powder over it, and it's nice, dark and shiny. You could stamp it twice if you wanted to. Since I'm going to just use regular copy paper here, actually I've already inked this up and then I started talking. The copy paper, I don't really need to emboss it, but I can just to show you guys. And this stays wet for a while. In fact, that's not a great impression. Let me do it one more time here. And this is a nice bold stamp, so treat it like you would your bold stamps. And I'm going to show you for thin paper, actually let me stamp the other part too, it stays wet. For thin paper and for vellum, if you don't want it to warp so much, I suggest turning down the temperature on your heat gun if you have an adjustable one. I turn mine down anywhere from 140 to 200, something in that range will be good. And then I'm going to show you another little trick to help it not warp so much. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this. This is clear. And I didn't use my little embossing buddy first, which normally I would, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so here's a little trick. If we go ahead and put it in a clipboard, and we're going to get not all the way up, but close, and that's going to hold this down flat. And also, your clipboard is going to work like a big heat sink, so it's going to take a little bit longer. And let me turn down the air pressure so it's not so loud. It'll take a little longer to melt, and I just turned my air pressure down so it wouldn't be loud, which means it'll take longer still. But I'm going to go ahead and just run my heat gun over. Is that in camera? There we go. And I think you can see it's melting, but it's not curling up quite as much. The idea is that you want the clipboard to kind of act like a heat sink and help it warp evenly, if that makes sense. You want it all to warp so it all has one big curl rather than a bunch of little tiny bumps. Is everybody with me so far? Everybody made it over from the other event? Sorry about that. I thought I was being fancy setting it up in advance.
There's probably a way to do it. We're just
Sorry, guys. Alright, nothing like watching embossing powder melt live, right? Sorry. Okay, nice and shiny. And it's not too warped. I think I got it all. Oops, I missed a spot. All right. I think we got it all. Okay, so there's my trick. You can do that with vellum too, and it'll keep it from warping. It's not too bad. See that? And some of the other pieces so that you have lots of surface for it to reflect back. Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. Imagine if I was doing this by myself. Thank you, Micah. I do appreciate it. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't even know what I was doing. Okay, so now we can go ahead and glue it in place. I like liquid glue. If you have a really narrow, like the score tape that's super skinny, I guess you could use that. But I like wet glue because it gives you wiggle room, and that way you can make sure that you've got it lined up from the front. And I'm just going along the outside edge as much as possible, especially with vellum. You don't want to get too much glue showing. And then I'm just going to come in, line it up, and then now I'll flip it over and make sure that I like where it is. Do we have any questions yet? I know we've got people that popped over from the other event, so let me know if we missed anything, and if you want me to go over the ruler trick for folding again too, I can. Okay, so pretty well lined up. And then this one, I've already got those pieces taped down. So now we can start gluing the box together. And when you glue this bottom piece together, these little flaps are gonna just get a little dot of glue on each one. But when you pinch them together, I want you to pinch them together so that it's kind of in a little bit. And then that way when we put the other piece that's the exact same size on top, it can close around it. It'll have a little bit of room. When you have a box top, it's usually a little bit bigger than the box bottom, if that makes sense. And you don't have to worry if this gets a little bit, like sometimes it'll get a little wavy. On the bottom it's not a big deal because you're not going to see that. Little dot of glue. I'm using PVA glue in a fine line bottle. This is my favorite for paper to paper. It dries fast, it dries clear, it's matte. So if you are going to glue like mirror paper, then maybe you want something that has a shiny finish in case it seeps out. But for 99% of what I do, I want it to be matte. And so I'm just pinching it for a second, and it really does go fast. That battery is a little, it's heavy, so it's like a little pendulum. It's not that heavy, but it's like a little pendulum hanging down. All right, one more corner here. And again, I'm kind of pinching it in so it's a little smaller. Okay. Now we can glue the top on, and you do not have to assemble the top separate. You can just glue it in place right on here. And I did the same thing where I lined up the ruler between the notches, and then I used my bone folder to lift and score. There is a score line there, like I said, but if you use your bone folder, that's going to give you a nice crease without it accidentally getting weird on you, especially when you have a narrow, this is just a 1/4 inch, so you've got an 1/8 of an inch plus an 1/8 of an inch. That's a hard piece to fold on its own, so use a ruler, it'll help you out. Pinching it in so it's a little all right, so now I'm just going to add glue to this whole edge, and I did go onto the tabs as well, and I'm going to fold it like this. Oh, am I going too fast? I'm sorry. Okay, so I've got the glue on there, and then I'm going to use my bone folder. You can use your ruler. And I'm just going to kind of hold it in place for a second while it sits up. If you have that narrow score tape, this is a good place for it, because then you don't have any wait time. And I did put glue on that edge, so I'm going to pinch it in here.
Dana Kirsey asks her where can she find the box set up?
Hi Dana. It is at Ink Road. I think there's a link. I know there's a link in the original description, and I think Micah's going to drop it in now. And so this is an exclusive set from Ink Road, and if you just are tuning in, it comes with alphabet set, comes with the light box and these guys all ready for you, and then the die set, which cuts out the box, cuts out the window, and then this little guy is a hole for the batteries, which we'll assemble in a minute. It also comes with an easy light.
The link's posted in the comments.
Oh, okay, link's there, so easy lights. Okay, Dana, I know you've seen the easy lights.
So is this with the easy lights? The whole set comes from Ink Road, right?
The whole set comes from Ink Road. It comes with one easy light. She's going to be carrying more easy lights as well. And then, oh, I was going to do prizes tonight because, you know, I'm bad at this, so at least give you something good to watch. We have a really cool, this is from Laura. You're going to get all 3 plus a 5-pack of easy lights. That's our grand prize. And then I've also got a 2-pack and a 3-pack. So we'll have 3 prizes. Somebody will get the 3-pack, somebody will get the 2-pack, and somebody will get the whole grand prize. How should we do that? Leave a comment by the end of 1 week from today. I'll put it in the description eventually, in the right place. So leave a comment
on this and on Facebook. Both, right?
On both? Okay. Leave it in the Ink Roadies, or the Roadies Ink Road Facebook group. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Yeah. All right. So leave a comment on the YouTube and in the Roadies group, and then hi, Berta. I finally mailed your Christmas card like yesterday or today because I suck. But yours got out, and I only mailed like 3, so maybe 2. And yours is 1. So leave a comment, and then we will pick a winner using random.com or random.org. Sorry. 1 week from today it closes, and leave comments in both this YouTube video and in the Roadies group. And it's open internationally. I'll ship it.
But Dove says you are not that bad.
Thanks. I think there's like sweat on my eyebrows and my upper lip and my shiny. Can you tell this is my first time? I just added glue to the other side, and I'm kind of pinching, and I've got a black desk and a black box. That was me planning ahead. How about if I put it on here? You guys, I really was planning ahead. Like all day long I've been prepping this stuff. And you can see that I am a slow crafter. My apologies. I also made some other really cool stuff today. They'll be on the blog tomorrow, so you can come back tomorrow while this is drying. And I'm just kind of using that. It's kind of hard to hold it otherwise. You don't want to smash it. Okay, and then one more. My tabs I let dry. Anybody here live near Athens, Georgia? I'll be in Athens at the end of the month. 21st, 22nd, that weekend, whatever that weekend is. I'll be down there. So if you guys are in the neighborhood, you should come. Okay. Too much glue because I'm impatient. I want it to dry fast. Usually this stuff does dry really fast too. It's just because I'm live that it's not. Alright, and while that one's drying, let me add it to this side. And I do want to mention that one of the things that Laura and I talked about was other stamp sets that you could use this with, because you guys know Ink Road, there's like a million stamp sets, and so many of them have all of these really cool sentiments. So we designed it so that you can actually use a lot of the sentiments that you guys already have. See that? See how they fit in there? So many of them. Not all of them. You may have to like break it apart, like mask it and break it apart. The little happy birthday fits in there. All three of them fit in there. How cute is that? And, you know, I just love these sets. But so many of them actually fit in here. So go through your sets and see what works. Now I've just made a big mess. A lot of the inked girls have fun sentiments, and then they would also be cute to decorate the card too. There's Robin, isn't she cute? A lot of these inked girls also fit perfectly ATC size. So if you guys are ATC traders, those inked girls are perfect. Okay, so I think we basically have a glued together box, and then it lights up. And let me, you guys see that? With all my bright lights on. And I'm sure there's a camera on my face, and now you see up my nose. Eventually I'll get decent at this. Okay, so let's put one together. Card base, this is just a, hi Denise. Okay, Bex? Hey Bex. I saw your message come through just a minute ago, well, a bit ago, but I was in the middle of something. I'll read it in a little bit. Tape. I don't know about you guys, but I save like all my tape. I have a ton of little bits of tape off to the side. Alright, so I'm just gonna, this is that little square again, and I'm gonna cut a hole. Now that I filled up everything. And I'm gonna be off camera for a second, sorry guys. Cut that out. And then I'm going to decide where I want the battery, and I think I want the battery this time to be down here. Bex is here, and Bex is my friend, and she calls this paper smashing, which is a fun term, I think. Okay. Okay, so now I have those two little holes. And I am going to go ahead and slip the battery through. And then right here. And then all of these wires there, we can just hide. Oh, also let me put a little bit of score tape on the back here.
Tana, who says
Tana?
come to New York? Tana? She wants you to come to New York and teach.
Tana, you should come down to Athens because it's warmer there. But I will come to New York. I love New York, actually.
Terry Pearson is 3 hours away in Atlanta.
3 hours away in Atlanta? Atlanta is 3 hours?
Alabama.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm flying into Atlanta. Okay. Tana, I will come visit you when it's warmer. You should come visit me while it is warmer. I had to take my sweater off earlier today because it was hot, which is nice. Okay, score tape, just so that it's easy. And then I'm gonna dangle it through here. I have the Facebook app on my phone. Oh, on your phone. Micah's kind of anti-Facebook. At least he's anti-Facebook app. Okay, smash it down. And then we've got the wires here. And if you want, you can use a little bit of Scotch tape to hold it.
Paul and his wife are watching from Virginia because I told them about it, and Paul's confused about how you make straight corners.
Paul.
He's I work with. He's a cook.
Oh, hello, Paul. How I make straight corners?
His wife does cooking, but he doesn't so much.
You're gonna have to go back to the straight corners part. I'm just peeling up the super tape that I had on the back there so that when I stick it down, it's going to stick where I want it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of glue on the back.
Looks like we're frozen.
We're frozen? Does that mean one of the kids' Xboxes has started downloading?
Yeah, no.
Should I stop?
Yeah, Restream isn't getting it. Something's going on. So it's frozen for everybody.
Okay. Do you refresh or re-stream?
I can stop streaming or then restart. I hope it doesn't make a new channel
It will.
because it's not getting through.
Okay.
It just quit.
What time are we at?
It's like 6:30.
I don't want to go past 7 because people.
It says we're online.
Shh, don't use that in case we are. Are people saying it's frozen in the comments?
Yeah. It's like jumping around. We're having bandwidth issues. We'll probably need to do this for my shop
Okay.
in the future. They were saying it was jumping around a lot.
Are you starting a new one?
I don't know if that'll help. I can. Yeah, it's just not. I don't understand, really, honestly, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Did you hit end stream at one point?
No.
Oh, so I've been sitting here. Everybody's watching.
Yeah, everybody's watching you, but it's like really, really jumpy, and they might not be getting it. So I apologize.
Are you on Wi-Fi with Micah? No, we're actually hardlined in.
Yeah.
So it's just our internet in general. I think everybody's come home from work and on the internet.
Yeah, our internet's not hardly. I blame the neighborhood. Too many students.
Okay, well, at some point, this is going to be a long pause and everybody's left, probably. I apologize. So let me just finish up this part. So now you can see we've got a light box. We've got it glued to the front of the card. I'm going to hold it here so that you can see without these big lights glaring at it. It lights up. And if you don't have 3 big panel lights, it lights up a whole lot, which is pretty cool. And that's different from the other one, the vellum. I'll compare them here, I think. If I can see, you get plenty of light from each. Okay, so you want to cover this up because that's ugly. And I just went ahead, these are from the Buttercup, this one, Chin Up Buttercup, this little guy. Isn't that one cute? I just grabbed a couple of those and cut them out, and then a couple other florals from just dies in my stash. The Bella Floras, wouldn't that be super pretty right here? Just a little sprig, and then fast and easy. And then I'm just gonna glue them in place. And the batteries here, if you're going to mail this and you don't want, actually that's thick to mail. I'll show you one other quick one in just a second. If you are going to mail it and you don't want the battery to die in transit, just stick a little piece under there that you pull out. Just like when you get it in the package, there's a little plastic piece. You can just stick that right back underneath if you want, or you can use a piece of cardstock that you remove on there, and be careful if it'll pop out the battery. Okay, so I'm going to use, this one's the Nouveau Deluxe. It takes a little longer to dry, but it's good for things other than paper, and I'm going to be gluing directly to the metal here. I'm not gluing to the battery, I'm just gluing to the battery holder around it, just to kind of cover it up a little bit. And you can use a larger die cut piece, like a heart or something like that too. Like I said, the Bella Floras would be beautiful because they're nice and big. Here. I am gonna end up setting it up so that the center of the flower is right over the purple button. Oops. And I do like this deluxe adhesive for this stuff. And this is thick, so you're going to want to use a thicker or a bigger envelope, probably an A6 or an A7. Or you can always make your own with a little envelope punch board too if you have one. Let's see what this is going to look like. Yeah, I like that. Hopefully at some point, either on replay or if this is caught up, you guys will be able to see this all. I'm just going to line up the center of this right over the purple button. Yeah, one more. One more just because. Might be the girls. All the girls are watching. Okay, there we go. And can you see that? The button's all covered up. And of course, there we go. Trying not to wiggle the flowers off. We'll let that dry up a little bit more. Okay, before I go too long, I want to show you one more quick option. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, if you do not want to build a box, you can take the frame die, the inner frame, that piece, cut it out. I just cut it from a piece of glitter cardstock there. And then I have gone ahead and embossed my sentiment on a piece of vellum. This is thin vellum. It's thin, so I just went ahead and folded it in half so it's doubled up. See that? And it's gone, and I've cut it a little bit bigger so that it can fit behind. I'll move the front there. You can see that there's a lip, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it, and I'm going to get these two layers together just around the edge. And I am going to switch back over. This does dry faster, the PVA. So just actually do it on the edge here. Then I'm less likely to have glue where I don't want it. And you can see through the vellum to line it up from the back here, which is pretty handy. Did you guys know that vellum means something totally different if you go to a print shop? If you go into a major paper store like Kelly Paper, or a print supply house, and ask for vellum, you will get vellum, but it may not be see-through because vellum is a type of a finish, and just crafty people call the see-through transparent stuff vellum. Okay, so there we go. Now it's flat, there's no box. But you want some lights in there, and you've got the thickness of the battery to deal with. And this is a double thickness of foam tape. So I've already folded some strips in half, or folded them onto each other, and then cut them in half. So I've got a double thickness, and it's the same height. Can you see that? They kind of cancel each other out there. So what I'm going to do is figure out where I want my lights on my card base, and I'm thinking I'll do one in the center right here, one in the center roughly right there, and then one right there. I've got another one. I've already went ahead and put the score tape on the back, and then Scotch tape. Now if you get a light, and some of them are a little more twisted than the others, my apologies. The guys in the factory sometimes get a little overzealous with their twisting, and that's something we have asked them to fix, which they have fixed for now, or for going forward. But if you get one that's a little crazy and then you can't get it undone, let me know. But for the most part, they should just untwist fine. I am pointing these little yellow lights straight up. Actually, what you can do, if it's easier, is to put the tape on the wires.
It's the computer. It doesn't have enough horsepower.
Oh.
Everybody says they can hear you, but the video's jumping around.
My apologies, guys. We'll fix it for next time. Or maybe I can just not do live videos anymore. But the nice thing about this is that there's no editing at the end. Okay, I have 3 lights. They are stuck down. They're going to light this up nicely. And I am going to put the battery pack where I want it. Thinking that neighborhood is good. Now I've got extra wires here. So you do not want to cut them. You don't want to fold them too sharp. But what you can do is just kind of curl them a little bit. Just turn them on themselves. Hey, Mary. I thought you had dinner plans. Oh, I guess it's late. Jess is here too. Hi, Jess. Thanks for stopping in. I'm going to wrap this up very soon. Okay, so card base, 3 lights taped down. Battery is stuck down where we want it. They all light up. Everything's good. We have the vellum window, and it's stuck to a little card front here. And then I'm just going to take these strips of double thickness of foam tape, and I'm going to go around the outside edge. You guys, I got the new lefty scissors from Tonic because I'm a lefty. And you know what I have discovered? I have to relearn how to cut.